Hello. Episode 3. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to episode 3 of Have a Dadbod podcast. We're going to talk about passion tonight. Why? Because I like talking about passionate things. I like talking with passionate people. I like meeting people who are passionate about what their craft, whatever their craft is. But my name is Chris Zach, episode 3, talking about passion. Tonight I started to watch the Shawn Mendes documentary on Netflix. I personally have heard maybe a handful of his songs, and I was actually pretty impressed. But it just got me thinking a lot about passion, and even when I don't necessarily agree with someone and what they do, I'm not saying this about Shawn Mendes, so this isn't an attack. I don't need a hashtag against me. But what I mean by that is I like the guy, right? I like a lot of artists, and I don't necessarily have to love 100% of artists and 100% of their work, right? I think that's unrealistic, but what I do love is I love watching people be passionate about things in life, whether it's a hobby that they have like surfing, whether that's a musician, whether that's myself, owning my own business and learning how to balance that with being a single dad. There's so much fun things that I have in front of me in my life. I love meeting people. I love talking to other people and just having conversations with people. But passion's an interesting one because we all have passion inside of us. We all live with passion. And so if you think about it, I have to actually go back to a story. It just came to my mind thinking about high school. I remember in high school, I went and took this test. And it was basically like kind of what do you want to be when you grow up type of test. So it asked a lot of personality questions, a lot of, interest-based type of questions, but I thought it was really fascinating. And I think it helped kind of me go into the direction that I wanted to, which was working with people and working with communication in some way. And so that's what I went to school for originally. Went to school for actually English. And then once I started taking English and poetry classes and learning a lot about that, I then changed it to English as a second language. I wanted to teach English. I studied abroad in Buenos Aires in Argentina and just found so many amazing things and learned so much about myself. But I'm going off on a tangent because when you start to tap into what directs you in life, what makes you tick, what do I mean by that? You see those people who you can tell they hate their job, right? You've gone to a restaurant, you've gone to the DMV, you've gone anywhere where you meet someone who's just an angry elf, that new age Karen that's just walking around clubbing baby seals. But they're not passionate about what they're doing. Now, you don't have to associate passion as well with like a job or a career. But I would encourage everyone to start to learn a little bit about yourself and what you're passionate about if you don't know, because I feel when you start to do what you're passionate about, that's when the beauty in life really, really happens. That's that real good Midwest meat and potatoes you start to eat. Or if you're a vegan, that tofu soup or whatever. But no, take an Enneagram test or the Myers-Briggs test or the Winslow profile. There's all of these tests that are available for us to take where we can learn about ourselves. I remember a couple years ago, I took a Strength Finders test. And one thing I learned about myself is I'm creative. I already knew that, but it reaffirmed a lot of belief that I had about my creativity. And one thing that it said was, I can come up with 100 ideas. Now, there's a negative as well to that, which is I have 100 ideas and none of them get done. So when I learned that about 6-7 years ago in my life, I started to really, really tap into that. I started to learn ways to tap more into those strengths. What did that look like? What did that look like as a parent? What did that look like in my job? But it started to direct and alter my behavior a little bit because it made me feel good. It was something inside of my body that was telling me, and that's what passion does deep down. It stirs up our soul a little bit. We smile more. We notice the sun shining more. You feel more fulfilled. When you go out and you experience a sunset, or in the Midwest, I used to love watching a storm come through. Just sit outside and watch these storm clouds just go from one direction across the entire sky in a matter of 30 minutes. But these simple little things that we start to notice in our life when we tap into our potential. I'm obsessed with learning. I probably listen to about 4 or 5 hours of content every single day, whether it's through podcast or I watch a ton of YouTube videos, and I find stuff that I'm interested in. I listen to stand-up comedy. I listen to how to do things, how to become better, how to become faster, how to become stronger. And it's taken me 30 plus years to find that a healthy balance of tapping into that potential. But I'm 37 as I speak this. 37-year-old, COVID negative, Chris Zach here in San Diego. Actually, shout out to my sponsor as well. Where are you at? Hodad's. I think Hodad's Burgers. If you've never been to Hodad's Burgers in San Diego, California, do me a favor. Go to Hodad's in Ocean Beach, their location. Get a single bacon cheeseburger with frings, which is Mexican for fries and onion rings. But you start to tap into that potential, and you really, really see your soul start to come on fire. So I took the Enneagram test as well, and I am a 2, recovering 2/3, which is the helper and the achiever. Why am I doing this podcast? I love helping people. I hope that one person can be impacted by each podcast that I do. If so, it's worth the 20, 30 minutes that it takes me to do these. I love it. I love helping people. But you start to tap into that potential. You start to really explore what's within your soul, why you are the way that you are, why you think the way that you do, why you feel things the way that you do. Some of you are incredibly passionate right now, and I see it on social media. You're passionate about certain topics. But are you tapping into that potential in a healthy way as well? Meaning those same things that make you go march and protest, are you waking up with that same amount of discipline in your life? It's an interesting question, right? Because as I try and balance this being a student of life and just not driving myself crazy and working myself to the ground every single day, all day, every day, grinding. But I think that's one of the most beautiful things about life is when we learn more about ourselves, we learn more about people, we learn more about how to enjoy life. And so I love talking about passion in so many different ways because obviously I'm passionate about life and a lot of things in music. But passion is also a state of mind that we can choose to live in. And so I hope whatever it is that you're doing it with passion. Whatever it is that you're doing, you do it well. Because we only get one life. And that's an amazing, amazing thing. And I'm thankful for God putting me in a beautiful city like San Diego where I can constantly experience things like Hodad's and Taylor guitars and absolutely beautiful sunsets. But be passionate about something. Find it. Search for it. It'll be the best decision you ever made. Thank you for joining me here on episode 3 of Have a Dadbod podcast. My name is Chris Zach, signing off. Peace and hair grease.